Minglawa, welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Here are the latest news and reports. The first report on measures to curb the spread of novel coronavirus infection in place. Next on understanding Myanmar-U.S. relation. A story coverage on campaign to abstain from consuming hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks. And the last report on growing watercolor art in Myanmar. We'll definitely get to the report in a while, but before then, let's take a look at some local news. State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi received a delegation from New Moon State Party led by its chairman Nai Han Da in Naypyidaw Thursday morning. The officials discussed Myanmar's current need for peace, development and prioritizing ethnic affairs after NMSP have signed the nationwide ceasefire agreement, and the need for cooperation for the upcoming session of the Union Peace Conference, 21st Century Panglong, to be successful in line with the decisions made at the 8th JICM meeting. The New Moon State Party chairman said they fully support the state councillor's aim to establish a federal union during the speech she made at the 4th anniversary of the signing of the NCA. Ethnic races are putting more trust in the state councillor and the need to overcome the obstacles in the political dialogues that have yet to reach any agreement. The officials also discussed teaching the Mon language, regional development, and the living conditions for NMSP members and their families. The second coordination meeting of Steering Committee on Anti-Money Laundering and Combating Financing of Terrorism was held at the Ministry of Home Affairs Thursday morning, with an opening speech of committee's chairman, Vice President Woo Min-sui, and discussions by member of committees to implement 14 plans adopted in the Asia-Pacific Joint Group meeting in Beijing, China. Vice President Woo Min-sui said the meeting was aimed to support relevant ministries and organizations for their successful implementation in fighting against money laundering and financing of terrorism. The Myanmar National Risk Assessment Executive Summary Report concluded that the country is being affected by money laundering and threats, and the relevant departments and organizations need to fight against illicit trafficking in narcotic drugs, corruption and bribery, environmental crimes and tax evasions. The Vice President instructed to appoint implementation officers for anti-money laundering and countering the finance of terrorism, while the financial investigation teams are to cooperate with local and international organizations. He continued saying that the relevant committee and departments to enforce the international standard laws, norms and recommendations. Vice President U Henry Zin inspected upgrading of Nyang-U Airport for customs, immigration and quarantine facilities and renovation of quake-affected pagodas in Bagan. The Vice President advised cooperation of relevant ministries for sustainable development of UNESCO World Heritage Site Bagan and tourism development in the area, passenger lounge, installation of modern equipment for security, health and immigration checks at arrival and departure areas of the airport, and setting up QR code for travel information. The Vice President also advised coordination of relevant departments and organizations in preservation and renovation of cultural heritages. Union Minister for Natural Resources and Environmental Conservation U On Win received Nepali Ambassador Mr. Bim K. Das on Thursday morning. During the meeting, the officials openly exchanged views on the preparation for the Sagarmatha Sambat, a global dialogue to be held in Kathmandu, Nepal in April, Myanmar's processes for environmental conservation and climate change, and cooperation with the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. That's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. Deputy Director General of Public Health Department under the Ministry of Health and Sports, Dr. Ton Mien, said the government is now introducing organized surveillance measures to curb the spread of novel coronavirus infection, which originated from the People's Republic of China at all key entrances to Myanmar with the use of sophisticated devices, Suiman reports.
The government is now introducing organized surveillance measures to curb the spread of novel coronavirus infection that originated in the People's Republic of China, PRC, at all key entrances to Myanmar with the use of sophisticated devices. Dr. Ton Mien, Deputy Director General of the Public Health Department, said,
Our country has major entrances. Surveillance measures are in place at all entrances. For instance, in Yangon International Airport, there is a terminal scanner. It can read not only individuals but also a crowd of people. It's not easy for the one who is read by terminal scanner to know he is read by the device. The terminal scanner starts reading the distance of 30 feet. The terminal scanner starts reading those who are entering Yangon International Airport as soon as they take down escalator. The scanner has a voice alarm and a color is red. It's a check process. Health alert cards have been given to all airlines ahead. The travelers have to fill in the cards and then they are given to the immigration. The immigration doesn't allow those who have not filed in the cards to pass through. Health alert cards have to be recollected. All hotels have been informed already. Even the union minister met with wholesalers, business persons, and private hospital owners. The YRTA Air Immigration clarified the current health issue on 27th of January. We have prepared for that already.
With regard to this coronavirus, public awareness is being raised not to be panic-stricken. There is a plan to distribute 500,000 pamphlets for coronavirus prevention at the key entrances to Myanmar and in public places. The virus can have effect beyond 6 feet, but it can have straightforward. There is no need to be so worried for that. Mask wearing is not needed yet. Some people are now buying masks too much because of being panic-stricken, and that results in double increase in mask price in the domestic pharmaceutical market. U Aung Kolat, owner of Saitanja Medical Equipment Trading, said,
The domestic pharmaceutical market is regular run. There are those who are taking medicines and those who are receiving medical treatment running regularly. But now the novel coronavirus is becoming the hottest news, rocking the domestic medical market a little. Feeling panic-stricken on health crisis, people are buying and wearing masks. Until now, the sale of masks is brisk in the market. The price of masks is rising a little.
The price of mask has risen to 4,500 jets or 5,000 jets from 1,000 jets or 1,200 jets. The former 5,000 jets price of mask has jumped to 8,000 or 10,000 jets. U Aung Kai, owner of Shine Star Medical Equipment Trading, said,
The current market is full of the visitors. The mask is much demand in the market due to the coronavirus taking place in China. The price is also high in the market. The price of masks has risen to a triple increase. Mask is currently out of stock at the companies. We can get the mask as we like.
The novel coronavirus has not entered Myanmar yet, although neighboring countries see it. If already entered, the authority concerned have already adopted the ways to prevent against the infection of the coronavirus. It was learned that Weibagi Hospital will be used in Yangon. There are 7,711 people infected with coronavirus and 170 deaths all over the world till 29th of January. The Public Health Department issued warnings that public should notice personal cleanliness, eating nutritious foods and sound sleep, abstaining from going to crowded places, avoiding half-cooked meat, handling the meat with production. Soon, pamphlets and stickers will be distributed as part of the education campaign. QR codes will be inserted into the pamphlets and stickers. Updated information about the coronavirus will be available by scanning.
That's a report on measures to curb the spread of novel coronavirus infection in place. All right, it's time now to check on the weather forecast in Myanmar. Well, in Yangon, we're getting plenty of sunshine during the day. Highest temperature for the day will be at 33 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 17 degrees Celsius. A brilliant sunshine in Naypyidaw during the day with clear skies at night. Highest temperature for the day will be at 32 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 13 degrees Celsius. A nice weather with plenty of sunshine in Mandalay during the day. Highest temperature for the day will be at 30 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 13 degrees Celsius. Well, back to our reports now, and we'll check on the stocks and currency exchange rates after this report. The United States has been one of the biggest aid providers in Myanmar in recent years in various sectors involving agriculture, education, humanitarian aid, and many others. Not only providing assistance for the people of Myanmar, but economically, the trade volume between the two nations have also grown more than ever. Therefore, to understand more about the relation in many different ways, U.S.-Myanmar Relations discussion was held at American Center in Yangon. Willison has the details.
Myanmar and United States of America diplomatic relation was once again reignited after 2011 when Myanmar reinsured a big political transition, and since then the United States of America have been involving in different areas across Myanmar, helping to improve. After a political transformation in Myanmar, then President Barack Obama visited Myanmar, making him the first president of the United States to give a visit to Myanmar in 50 years. Economically, the relations between the two nations are also improving dramatically, where the trade volume between the two nations jumped to over $1 billion trading now, compared to just over $100 million before 2011. In recent years, Myanmar also sees some of a huge investment from the United States, creating job opportunities and contributing to the economic growth of the nation. Looking back to all the progress these two nations have made so far and better understand the deep relation, discussion on U.S.-Myanmar relations was held on 29th of January at American Center in Yangon, attended by Mr. Scott Marcial, U.S. Ambassador to Myanmar, and several students who are very much eager to learn a deeper relation between the two nations. Speaking to the media, Mr. Scott Marcial said,
Yeah, well, part of our job is to help people here understand about the relationship, what the United States is doing to try to help the people of Myanmar build a stronger democracy and more peace and more prosperity. So that was really the purpose today. Well, the purpose of this talk show is just to answer people's questions and try to explain more about some of the things we're doing here with the government, but also in the private sector with civil society. Again, all to try to help the people of the country make progress.
Some of the areas where U.S. is working to help Myanmar include agriculture, education, humanitarian aid, and other social areas as well. But why is U.S. very much eager to work for these sectors? Mr. Scott Marcial also explained further and said,
Well, there's a lot of things that go into these decisions, and it's not that one sector is important in another sector. It depends partly on where we feel like we can do the most good. But also it depends a little bit what some other donors are doing. So if some other donors have been giving a lot of money in education, so until recently we weren't doing it, even though education is very important because we thought we could contribute more in some other areas.
According to Mr. Scott Marcial, the people of Myanmar can expect more from the United States in several areas, as it has been doing for a while. Speaking on it, Mr. Scott Marcial also said,
Well, we're going to continue to support all the people and institutions in Myanmar who are working to build stronger democracy, more justice, peace, and prosperity, but prosperity that we hope benefits people throughout the country. So that's what we're going to continue to do.
Mr. Scott Marcial also spoke on how far the U.S. and Myanmar have come along together improving bilateral relations between the two countries, and he said,
Well, we had up until 2010 and 2011, we had very limited relations with the government here, and we didn't have much of an assistance program because the military, we thought, wasn't serving the people very well, so we didn't want to really support that. When Myanmar began to reform and open up and there were many more opportunities for people, we wanted to encourage more reform. So that's why we came in to encourage a reform, more democracy, more freedom, all of these sorts of things. As I said earlier, in 2017 with the Rakhine crisis, that's created some challenges both for Myanmar and in the relationship. We've been trying to work through those, help Myanmar address this problem, but at the same time, as we do that, continue our various programs to support democracy and stronger economy and peace.
This is William Sun for MI Radio.
as a report on understanding Myanmar-U.S. relation. And now we have information on currency rates from Myanmar's central bank. $1 is at 1,465 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 211 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,614 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,903 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,075 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 358 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 47 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 20 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,572. Silver is at $17. And Brent crude oil is at $53. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI went up 500 and it's at 11,500. MTSH is at 4,000. MCB remains at 8,300. FPB is at 23,000. TMH is at 2,850. You're with MR Radio's Myanmar Today. You can log on to our website at mrradio.com.mm and catch other great programs of MR Radio on the website. We're also running on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. Alternatively, you can download our app on both iOS and Android platforms. It's easy to search. Just type in Myanmar INTL Radio and you'll find the app. Download it on your devices so you can listen to our radio programs on the go. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Myanmar Consumers Protection Association, in partnership with Basic Education Department under the Ministry of Education, launched a campaign to abstain from consuming hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks at schools' canteens in No. 1 Basic Education High School in Tagong Township. The anti-consuming hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks campaign will go on in 5 high schools, a middle school, and 25 primary schools in Tagong. The signboards describing campaign information were set up in 5 high schools in the same township. Zueman has the details.
Myanmar Consumers Protection Association, in partnership with the Basic Education Department under the Ministry of Education, launched a campaign to abstain from consuming hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks at schools' canteens in No. 1 Basic Education High School in Tagong North Township on 28th January morning. The anti-consuming hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks campaign will go in 5 high schools, a middle school, and 25 primary schools in Tagong North. The signboards describing campaign information were set up in 5 high schools in the same township. Uwelujo, Vice President of Myanmar Consumer Protection Association, said,
The snacks and soft drinks must be free from chemicals, and it is of great importance. How will we produce chemical-free snacks and soft drinks inside the country? It is the most important for school children to consume the snacks and soft drinks free from chemical substances in the school environments. Not to consume the food of much chemical composition is the most important for the school children. Fried and roasted snacks are made with preservers. The composition of preservers in the foods must be reduced as many as we can. Daily making foods should be mainly sold in the school canteens. In the past, we had to suffer diabetes, hypertension, and heart attack, as well as cancer, when we were about 40 or 50 years old. Now, diabetes, hypertension, and heart attack are occurring during the childhood, despite the fact that these diseases don't happen since birth. This is because of the foods of much chemical composition being consumed.
Myanmar Consumer Protection Association, in collaboration with the schools, is launching the education campaigns in the schools. The shop owners of the school canteens actively participated in our campaign, according to Vice President Uwelujo. U Tae-win, headmaster of No. 3 Basic Education High School in Tagong North, said,
The campaign, in cooperation with Myanmar Consumer Protection Association, aims for child health. Unhygienic ready-made foods should not be sold at the schools' canteens. We very often discuss with the shop owner of the canteen, and they are requested not to sell disallowed foods. We urge them to sell hygienic food and fresh fruits. We are making check in cooperation with school health committee on a daily basis. Regarding the health status in our country, there has been a gradual increase in the number of children of poor health. Only if healthy food is sold can the children be in good health and they can achieve success in their life.
Dawson Myanmar-U, a shopper from the canteen of number 3 BEHS, Dakong Mutin North, said.
We do as we are told. Disallowed foods are not sold. Only allowed foods are sold. We are selling the foods for 17 years here. In the past, we had to sell ice packs and tins of soft drink. Only those we are selling. Now we are selling a variety of fruits, but ready-made direct foods. I think for such the educative campaign, we are told to use natural sugar. We are told not to sell energy drinks. Therefore, we are selling natural fruit juice and hygienic foods. We are selling strawberry, watermelon, papaya, and avocado.
With the purpose of being schools free from hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks, Myanmar Consumer Protection Association is launching education campaigns in the schools and presenting the Clean Canteen Awards.
That's a report on the campaign to abstain from consuming hazardous ready-made snacks and soft drinks. And here's the last report on growing watercolor art in Myanmar. Watercolor art has become increasingly popular among artists in Myanmar as it is one of the affordable art forms for artists to draw, and in addition, this watercolor artwork also has appealing reputation to the people. Dr. U Lun Jue is a well-known watercolor artist in Myanmar, and his solo art exhibition is proof that watercolor art is booming in Myanmar. Winston will tell us more.
There are a variety of paintings when it comes to drawing. Some of the most popular art forms in Myanmar include oil painting, watercolor painting, pastel painting, acrylic painting, digital painting, ink painting, and spraying painting. Among these different forms of painting, watercolor painting is one of the most affordable and famous painting styles among the people, and watercolor art is also relatively very much reasonable in pricing, which is available for common people at a low price. Dr. U Lun Jue is a 90-year-old artist who is famous for his watercolor artworks, and he has been showcasing his artworks for years. After years of showcasing his artworks, he gradually earns the respect among artist community and the people who love to collect his artworks. According to him, as life began from a baby when the child is small, the people grow, but it means that the people are lapsing back to their childhood. Therefore, growing old can sometimes mean returning back to the childhood. As a child brings joy to the people, all he wants to do is bringing joy to the people through artworks, and this is all he wants to leave as his legacy. Solo Arts exhibition of Dr. U Lun Jue kicked off from 24th of January at Artist Smile Art Gallery in Insein Township in Yangon, and the exhibition will go until 2nd of February. In the exhibition, 50 different watercolor artworks are being displayed to the visitors for the price ranging from $100 to $300. Speaking to the media at his art solo exhibition, Dr. U Lun Jue said,
I am 90 years old. Being old makes me a little bit sad. Health is deteriorating. Even though my health is not so good any longer and I'm physically unable, I'm still determined mentally to carry on with my profession of painting more artworks. In this art exhibition, the artworks which I have painted recently, mostly mini-sized artworks, are being displayed for the people to feel the essence of the artwork. Though the artworks are small in size, I want to show that there is beauty in all these artworks. That's why I entitled this exhibition as Small is Beauty. For the artist, painting is a combination of the artist's feeling and nature together.
Dozali Aung is a managing director of Small Art Gallery and speaking to MI Radio on the uniqueness of watercolor art, she said,
ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့ watercolor ရေဆေးပကြီးကားတွေကိုကြည့်လို့ရှိရင်အရန်စိတ်အေးရတယ်စိတ်အေးချမ်းတယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့ရေဆေးပကြီးဟာပကြီးမှာ
Watercolor can give you a sense of peace and joy when you look at it. At the same time, watercolor is one of the hardest kinds of artwork because it is hard to undo anything that goes wrong. Another reason that people love watercolor is it does not cost a lot to get all the required tools in the process when we compare it to other painting styles such as oil painting and pastel painting, but it is affordable to everyone. Watercolor also needs high level of skills and ability to be able to paint it. Not all the artists can paint watercolor artworks. It does not take too long to accomplish it, and it is not expensive. These are the reasons why people tend to enjoy watercolor artworks.
As the number of art exhibitions is significantly increasing, art market is getting tougher and tougher. But according to managing director of Small Art Gallery, it's not a problem in the market. Speaking to MI Radio, she explains why.
ဒီပကြီးပြပွဲတွေများလာတာအရန်ကောင်းတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့ဒီနိုင်ငံ
Having increased numbers of art exhibition is not a negative thing for art community, as we are all working to show the artwork and sculpture of Myanmar to the world, and we only hope to be able to penetrate into international market, as artworks and sculpture share the big role in telling how rich culture and tradition we have. The artworks contain history of a nation and other cultural merits. If we want the world to know about our nation, we need to improve our artworks. Even though there are several art exhibitions across the country, the people are yet to get drawn into arts. But we must stride forward for further development of art and culture in Myanmar.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
Well, that's all the reports on Myanmar today. Now, as we all know, the world is being struck with health crisis, viruses spreading, earthquakes shaking the planet, and things are unspeakably escalating so quick that I believe we should keep up with the news from around the globe. So let's take a turn to some international news and find out what's happening around the world. China has called for united efforts in tackling the novel coronavirus outbreak to prevent the epidemic from spreading further, China's permanent representative to the United Nations, Zhang Jun, said on Friday. The remarks came hours after the World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced that the novel coronavirus, designated 2019 nCoV outbreak, has become a public health emergency of international concern. In other words, a global health emergency.
We must act now to help countries prepare for that possibility. For all of these reasons, I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus. The main reason for this declaration is not because of what is happening in China, but because of what is happening in other countries.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will hail Brexit Day on Friday as the dawn of a new era and pledge to unite Britain in an address to the nation, which he hopes will draw a line under years of angry debate over the European Union. On the day the United Kingdom ends its more than 40-year membership of the EU, Johnson, the face of the Brexit campaign, wants to avoid seeming triumphalist. He says he will celebrate respectfully to mark the country's most significant geopolitical shift since World War II, one that has also left deep wounds. 2 baby pandas have been unveiled at Berlin Zoo. Their parents were loaned from China to Germany in 2017 as a symbol of the friendship between the two countries. Berlin Zoo pays $15 million for a 15-year contract to host the 2 adult pandas, with most of the money going towards a conservation and breeding research program in China. Despite being born in Berlin, the panda cubs remain Chinese and must be returned to China within 4 years after they have been weaned. Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you again next week. Goodbye now.